Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Great job, great job. All right, obviously, because I am a far distance from all of you, I am going to take my mask off so that you can all hear me clearly. Good morning. For those of you who are new to the building, I am Mr. Brennan, your principal. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 21-22 school year. Our assembly this morning, as you can see, is being recorded. And the reason we're doing that is we are going to be encouraging your parents to watch this presentation with you again at some point when you are home. And we're doing that because we want to be on the same page. We want to make sure that your parents know what we're saying to you, because we want to be able to create a good partnership for your success for this school year. After a year and a half of remote and hybrid learning, our focus this year is a return to full-time in-person instruction. It's imperative that you as students reconnect to your learning. The virtual platform created incredible challenges for many of you, and as a result, your academics have suffered. Therefore, now that we are back to in-person instruction, we need you to recommit to your studies. Your teachers are going to be working very, very hard this year to identify areas where you need additional support, that they can get you caught up as best they can. But that's going to take a tremendous amount of effort on your part. Specifically, if you are struggling more than ever, you cannot afford to fall behind. You must be attending extra help. Make sure you're asking questions in class. You need to get reconnected to being back in school and focusing on your studies. Our second major focus this year that you're going to hear a lot about is good citizenship. We expect East Islip Middle School students to be kind and compassionate people. You are expected to accept differences and show compassion. We have a diverse population here at the middle school, and every student, regardless of race, gender, or sexual orientation, is entitled to feel safe, comfortable, and welcome in our school. Any behavior to the contrary will not be tolerated. East Islip Middle School is an inclusive environment, and we're going to hold everyone accountable for good citizenship. Put simply, you shouldn't treat anyone any different than you would want to be treated yourself. Kindness is the key, and kindness is the expectation. To that end, we uphold DASA here at the middle school. DASA is an acronym which stands for Dignity for All Students Act. And simply put, DASA is in place to ensure that all students and staff are treated with dignity and respect. If someone is being unkind to you, if someone is harassing you or bullying you, you need to report that information immediately. You can make a report to any adult in the building, doesn't matter who, any teacher, a custodian, an aide, somebody in the cafeteria. Any adult will take the report. Once a report is received, it will be investigated by our DASA team. Our team consists of our middle school social worker, Ms. Johnstone, who I'm going to introduce in a moment, myself, Mr. Thorley, and Mr. Cipher. But as soon as that report is given, we will investigate it, and I promise you that if anybody is acting in an inappropriate or unkind manner here at the middle school, we are going to deal with that. And we are going to deal with it to the harshest extent we can as per the code of conduct. And I don't want that to come across as negative, I want that to come across as a positive to all of you students who come here every day to do the right thing, to know that if I come and do the right thing, people who are being unkind and not doing the right thing are going to be held accountable, because you all deserve to come to school every day in a safe and comfortable environment. So I'd like to just very quickly introduce Ms. Johnstone, who is our lead DASA investigator. Ms. Johnstone. Ms. Johnstone's office is located in the guidance suite. So if you have a problem, again, you can report it to any adult in the building, or you can go down to the guidance office and say hello to Ms. Johnstone, and she will be happy to help you out. We have a couple of other very important people here this morning who I'm going to introduce in a moment, Mr. Thorley and Mr. Seifert. Mr. Seifert is on your right. He is the 8th grade administrator. Very important, so you want to maybe applaud for him because you'll be working a lot over. And then to your left is Mr. Thorley. He predominantly will be working with the 6th and 7th grade, but most of you should know him already because he was working with you the last couple of years. Before I call them up, I do want to talk about the masks. Again, I am a very far distance from everyone right now, so I did take my mask down. I know that these are a bother. However, right now, these are what are keeping us in school in full in-person instruction. It's what's allowing us to have clubs, activities, sports. I know it's a bother. Your teacher's going to do their best they can to maintain mask breaks through the day. But remember that when you are sitting close to somebody, you need to make sure that that mask is on. If it is not, and you are less than 3 feet away from somebody, if that person comes down with COVID, you then have to be quarantined. And we don't want to have that happen. So when your teachers are in classrooms, if they're giving every other row a mask break, that's to make sure that if, God forbid, there is an outbreak and somebody gets it, we don't have to quarantine you and send you home. So please follow the directions of your teachers, take the mask breaks where appropriate and where allowed, and let's do our best to keep ourselves here in school, our clubs running, our activities going, and our sport teams going. So please, 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 I know it's a bother, but it's something we have to deal with right now, and let's all do our part. At this time, I'm going to introduce Mr. Seifert, because he is going to be working most closely with you. He has some information to share. Mr. Seifert, please step on up.
All right, thank you, Mr. Brennan. Hello, everybody. I'm Christian Seifert, 8th grade assistant principal. You can come see me anytime. I'm over on the first floor, opposite guidance, opposite where Mrs. Johnstone is. You can see me anytime, and if I'm not available, you should know that you can always turn to any adult here in the building, Mr. Thorley, Mr. Brennan, not only them, but any member of guidance or any member of security. All right, so you always have an adult here to turn to. There's 2 things I want to bring up to your attention. Number 1, as 8th graders, as all the popular ladies and tough guys of the school, you set the example. Okay, how you act, how you behave, how you conduct yourself is an example that you are setting for our 6th graders and 7th graders. So always keep that in mind. When you behave well, when you do well in school, when you participate, you set the example for those youngsters who also then want to be like you. But don't forget that. The best piece of advice I can give you in September is to get involved. If you have been involved in school, that's great, that's fantastic, and you know it is. And if you haven't, you should know that these should be some of the best years of your life, not only as 8th graders, but also going on into high school. You want to get involved, and there is plenty for you to do here. Whether you are an athlete, or a musician, or you have skills, or talents, or likes outside of those areas, there is plenty for you to do. Go on the website, check out the clubs and activities, try out for those teams, talk amongst yourselves about what you would like to participate in, even meet up with your guidance counselor and talk about what's available here at the school, because there's something for everyone. And the reason why I bring that up is because that is the number 1 key to success. Kids that are involved, kids that do things after school, on a team or in a club, they tend to like school more, they tend to do better, they tend to stay out of trouble. I want you to stay after school, and I want you to get involved in something. You can't hang around school after school if you don't have an adult supervised activity. You have to go home. And we don't want you to go home, we want you to stay, but we want you to stay in an adult supervised activity. You talk to anyone who works in schools, and they will tell you the number 1 key to success is to have a child involved in something after school. So get involved. You set the example. Always remember that. I know you've been here now under Mr. Nolan before myself, and Mr. Brennan and Mr. Thorley before that, so you know the expectation is high, and I know that you can meet that expectation, and I think we're all going to have a very good school year. Anybody have any questions for me? First floor, opposite guidance. You can see me anytime. If not, there is a secretary inside. You can just leave a little note with her, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Thank you. Next up, we'll have Mr. Thorley.
You want to applaud for Mr. Seifert?
Thank you, Mr. Seifert, Mr. Brennan. Welcome back, 8th graders. Again, for those who don't know me, I'm Mr. Thorley. I've had the pleasure of working with you guys as 6th and 7th graders. I know Mr. Seifert supervises the 8th grade, and I do the 6th and 7th. But the predominant thing, like we've said, we work as a team. If Mr. Seifert, Mr. Brennan is not available, you all know where my office is on the 2nd floor. Please do not hesitate to come and see me or Mrs. Kavanaugh, the secretary in the office, if there's anything going on. We work as a team here. I'm just going to follow up very simply what Mr. Seifert, Mr. Brennan said. You guys are the 8th graders here. Speaking from experience, your year will fly by, and we're looking forward to making this as normal as possible for all of you. We know wearing the masks is not ideal. We know it's tough for you guys, but I gotta say, just watching you guys from this year and last year, you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. We're proud of you. We know it's not easy. We want to get you through this. And the good news is, we're looking at this as 8th graders now. You are setting yourself up to start preparing yourself for going to high school. This is where it starts. Like Mr. Seifert said, get involved. Start building the resume to make yourself a valuable commodity, which you all are. Get involved in activities, find things that interest you, start building that resume as you progress and grow and move towards the high school very, very soon. And we're here to help you if you need any direction along the way. That's what we're here for. Come and speak to us. Let's have conversations whenever we need to about anything that's going on. Be serious about your classes, be where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you guys will have a great year. We look forward to hopefully returning to some sense of normalcy, activities and things we'd like to prepare for you as our graduating class down the road somewhere in terms of special activities, which you are more than deserving of. So again, I wish you all the best of luck this year. You know where my office is on the 2nd floor. Please don't hesitate to pop in if you need anything. We work as a team here. We're looking forward to a very successful year here at East Islip Middle School. It's great to see you all. Welcome back. Looking forward to a great year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thorley. Just a couple other things to go over before we send you back. Last year, we allowed you to use cell phones in the cafeteria because the setup in there, you weren't really able to do much. Again, we've made the announcements early on, and so far, thank you. You've done a great job not taking the cell phones out. Again, they are not allowed this year, as always was in the past before the pandemic. So please, when you bring them in, silence them, put them away. If we don't see them, we don't hear them, that's fine. We do have a handful of students who, for medical reasons, have their phones. That's a different situation. But they are to be away and not out. Please don't put us in a position where we have to take them away. We don't want to, but we need your cooperation. And again, I want to say that you have been fantastic so far this year, and we really do appreciate your cooperation with that. As far as the cafeteria goes, and because this is being recorded, I'm going to say this, Mom and Dad do not work here. So you are to pick up after yourself in the cafeteria. The people that work there are not there to clean up after you. So please, when you are finished with your meals, you take it, you put it in the garbage, and you make sure that the area is neat and clean. Thanks to Mr. Seifert, he is bringing back the opportunity to go outside and have some time for recess during lunch when the days are nice. So that will be starting, I believe, next week. So thank you, Mr. Seifert, for getting that set up for our students. But when you are in the cafeteria, when you are done eating, I know that that's a nice relaxed time and you want to take a break, you pull your mask down to eat. But when you're finished eating, please, that mask does need to go back up. I will reiterate, I know that it's a bother. I know that it's really annoying for most of you, but it's what's keeping us in school, so it's something that we need to do. The last thing I want to address is the hallways. To echo what Mr. Seifert said, you are the leaders in the building. If you are running in the halls, if you are being loud in the halls, if you are roughhousing or fooling around with your friends, that sets a bad example for the 7th and 6th graders. Our expectations are when you're in the hall that you are moving from point A to B and you're doing it in a rather quiet and efficient manner. There's no need to be standing around, there's no need to be jumping around, specifically yelling and screaming. It is my pet peeve all the time. There's no reason to be screaming in the halls. We ask you please not to do that. Again, you are the leaders of the building. This is your year to be the big fish in the little pond. Next year, when you go over to the high school, you will once again be those little fish in the big pond. But the responsibility of the big fish is to teach the little fish. We need you to do that. So again, our goals this year: reconnection to your education, recommitment to your studies. Take advantage of being back in person. Your teachers are excited to have you back. They're excited to have you in person in front of them. They're here to work with you and help you to be successful. And the second thing, and maybe even more important, is we are going to reconnect to being good citizens and being good people at the East Islip Middle School, treating each other with dignity, treating each other with respect, accepting one another's differences. We know that you can do it. We know that you can make us all proud. We are looking forward to a fantastic school year. I want to thank you all for your attention this morning. I know you've been half asleep, but we appreciate your attention. Again, we're going to be sending this video out. We're going to be encouraging your parents to sit down and watch it with you so that they know what we've said to you this morning, that we're all on the same page for your success. So again, thank you. Have a great day and a great rest of the week, and let's have a great school year. Thank you.